Hey, 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 Minnesota Vikings fans. You are listening to the Purple People podcast. We got three of the four horsemen with us tonight. I am Kyle West, accompanied by Dorian Foley.
What's going on, everybody? Shalom and all that good stuff. Minnesota
Yeah.
Vikings football, baby. Oh, yeah. I feel
And we got Adam Carlson with us on the other end of the old tin cannon string.
That's right. I'm here, and we already have Jason Tavada and some others in the chat ready to roll.
Yeah. Dorian and I were joking before we started, Adam. He was like, "Are we starting at 7?" I go, "Well, we're on Purple People podcast time. So when we say 7 o'clock, we actually mean about 7:15. So we're So we're glad for you guys who are with us in the chat and wait through all the delays that we have it each and every week.
Yeah, we almost skipped this week, but we decided, okay, even though not a lot's gone on, and we did last week's show really late, we figured, we'll throw one in together anyway.
None of us like skipping weeks, and I think we all forgot that it was the 4th of July, like last week, where we were like, yeah, I'll be good to go on Wednesday. I can record on Wednesday. Oh, that's right. It's a holiday, folks.
That's not a big deal to me, but hey, you guys got like family and stuff, so you know.
Not so much that. I had fireworks. That's important.
I can't really. I mean, I'm sorry, like, man, like the last few years for me, when it comes to fireworks, I'm like, yay,
I'm good.
Okay, just whatever, you know.
Here's the thing. Only the second year that like actual fireworks have been legal in the state of Iowa, meaning that like I can sit in the backyard and like just like do shit without having to worry about the cops being called. So that makes it like extra fun.
Well, congratulations, Kyle. You know, I'm happy for you, man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
America, fuck yeah. All right.
All right, I'll continue through with the intro here. I don't even think I have the notes up. There we go. This is episode number 309 of the Purple People podcast, which I know we say it nearly every week, but 309 episodes of a weekly show is pretty amazing. I know there are other podcasts out there that have done as many episodes as we have, but they do a lot of little episodes during the week and all that. This is a weekly show, 309 weeks of watching our faces where our mouths open and say things about the football team. It's pretty amazing.
Things. Greg Jennings won't be cut.
No, they shouldn't cut Greg Jennings. He's gone.
The very next day. Yeah.
And you know what? We were right. It was a mistake.
We own up to our mistakes.
No, it was a mistake for them to cut him. We were right.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll agree with that statement too.
But this episode is titled The Next Generation, and we'll talk a little bit more about why that is and why it's feeling like a Star Trek kind of day a little bit later.
But first...
Yeah, we got to dive into those quick hits.
Quick hits, yeah.
Those tasty, delicious quick hits.
Tasty and delicious quick hits. Ooh.
See, that's the kind of stuff Mr. Smith should be doing for us. What do we got him on the payroll for if he isn't giving us jingles?
Yeah, man, that's gonna be a new thing, you guys. It's gonna be a new thing. Like, you know, when we transition into the main topics and the quick hits, just a little jingle here and there. I'll serenade, I'll freestyle something. So
I like it.
I'm more concerned about this payroll that I'm not a part of.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, neither am I. I mean, I know I'm the new cat, but yeah, I like money. It's green, and you spend it on stuff.
You can. Let's get started and talk about superfan Millie Wall. When she attended the game with the Minneapolis Miracle, she was 99 years old, and that was her 100th birthday present. Well, 4th of July was her 100th birthday, and everybody from the Vikings website themselves to fan sites were just wishing her a happy 100th birthday. And anytime you can get a fan of the Minnesota Vikings that has so much love, and she's been there since the beginning, so it's all very awesome. And we all want to wish Millie Wall a very happy birthday as well.
Happy birthday, baby.
Touch belated,
Yeah.
but
Woo,
still happy.
Happy birthday. Awesome that her birthday is on the 4th of July as well, too. It's very fitting for her.
And don't listen to those Eagles fans. They don't know what they're talking about, Millie. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Who cares?
No. But she's a Cancer, so that's important because I'm a Cancer myself. July 18th.
Awesome.
So yeah, my birthday July 18th. So I'm expecting something purple from both you guys.
Oh, don't open it up to that. You're gonna get something really awful that's purple.
Oh,
we can get pretty creative.
Okay.
So the Minnesota Vikings seamstress Penny Bryce. You didn't need to say it out loud. We all knew what we were getting at here.
Purple and gold swirl.
Former Vikings seamstress Penny Bryce retires after 50 years with the team. She sewed a lot of Minnesota Vikings jerseys and pants in her life. The last jersey she ever did was Minnesota Vikings rookie Mike Hughes. And what they did was they took his jersey, they framed it, they had a matting along the side of it, and they included a picture of the jersey being held by all of them. Then the matting was signed by all the players from the Minnesota Vikings this year, and they presented it to her. This is really crazy because she's been with the team for so long, and she's made jerseys for nearly all of the Minnesota Vikings greats, probably all of them. I don't even know.
Everyone from Fran Tarkenton to Randy Moss to Adrian Peterson and Jared Allen. I mean, all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And to think that, this is the stuff behind the scenes that we don't think about. We just think, oh, well, they're out there on the field. They're wearing purple. You don't think about everything that goes into getting them on the field in these jerseys, to play football, all the little things that have to happen. Like when the Vikings PR department won an award. It's like you never think about public relations, the team reaching out to media, interacting with fans, putting out all the releases and everything. You don't think of that.
Well, we were talking about jerseys, I think a couple of weeks back, man, and just to think of our classic jerseys from back in, the 60s, 70s, to when I became a Vikings fan, in almost late 90s, that those jerseys to me are iconic, and for her to just go from one style to another, I mean, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing, and she got skills because we look good every Sunday, didn't we, gentlemen?
Oh, absolutely. I have no idea who picked up the job in her place, or I'm assuming that someone highly qualified is going to get the job. So I'm not going to have to worry about numbers or letters falling off during the game. Hopefully.
Remember that time they spelled Everson Griffin's name wrong?
I do. That, and there were, I think Adrian one time got his jersey pulled so hard that one of his numbers started coming off.
Yeah, he's just a beast. Just how hard he runs.
Right.
We got Yang Yaj in the chat. Want to know what's up, guys? We got Lee Sattler, who's glad to finally join a live recording. And we've been getting some pretty cool messages over on the Facebook page and a lot of interaction. So thank you very much for doing all that. We really do love interacting with all the other Vikings fans out there. So keep it up, everyone. Keep it up. Well, let's continue on with the quick hits. I have not been paying attention to this story or player at all, so you guys will have to help me out on this.
Sure.
The NFL supplemental draft is coming up, and apparently a lot of teams are very interested in Western Michigan cornerback Sam Beal, which I don't know a ton about this guy, but anytime you can have young cornerback talent who could either develop or find a role on a team, or maybe even just sit on the practice squad for a little while they hone their skills. If they've got talent and they're at a position, it's a premium position. Like I believe cornerback is a premium position. Then you kind of have to take a look. And if Sam Beal is this real deal that people are talking about, then yeah, and I'm glad that the Vikings had their staff in attendance to check it out. It says Beal finished with 22 total tackles, 10 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. And I can't understate this enough. It doesn't matter how you make an NFL team, just as long as you keep pushing and earning your role.
I believe it was academic reasons is why he's not eligible to continue on playing in college. That's why he's entered the NFL draft. And they were saying, I believe, as high as a second round pick is what people were saying that he could potentially go for, which would make him the highest since Cleveland Browns took. God, I just drew a blank on the receiver. Who's the Browns receiver?
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon, thank you. Yeah, it will make him the
How
highest.
How could you forget Josh Gordon? He's the reason we love Taco Bell.
That was one of my favorite episodes. That was good. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, usually the supplemental draft is nothing to be too impressed about. There are some fun names usually involved and maybe a couple Minnesota guys or something like that. But I don't believe that we're going to see something really crazy.
I personally do not expect Minnesota to do anything in the supplemental draft. I think they've only ever picked a player one time, and it was back in, the 80s? If I remember right, I don't know. Don't quote me.
I have no idea. I didn't know the Vikings ever got a player through the supplemental draft.
You should read the article that I read over on thevikingage.com, I believe, by Adam Patrick.
He's good.
Very, very informative piece. I don't expect Minnesota to be doing anything, but you never know. I guess you never know.
There are teams that are really desperate for corners right now, and for this year, the Vikings are pretty good. They got a lot of young, talented players. They've got veterans to help them along the way. I don't see them making a massive splash because right now it looks like Marcus Sherrills might be the guy who is already on the fringe of keeping this spot on the team. And we say it every year, and he always sticks, but this could be it.
No, Marcus Sherrills is going to be on the team. Whatever. I gave that up a long time ago. Yeah, I was just going to add, if the Vikings were to pick him up, I mean, Zim is the master when it comes to defense, obviously, and I feel that he would, find a place for him where he would flourish. So that's just if we were, actually interested in picking him up.
Yeah, I don't think Mike Zimmer would have any problem carrying extra corners on the roster. That doesn't seem like a problem that he would have whatsoever.
Right.
Especially considering this year that I don't think we're going to see a lot of extra wide receivers because of all the tight ends the team's taking. We're going to have a really interesting 53-man roster this year. And how it all works out, I don't know. But to me, I don't really see a spot right now for Sam Beal, even though I've never watched him play. Don't know his talent.
Hey, at least we're honest.
I'm just happy with what the Vikings have going into the season right now. If they can add more talent, sneak him onto the practice squad or something cool. But if he's as good as you say he is, Mr. West, then yeah, some other team's going to be grabbing him.
Just wait, Dorian. Just wait until you have to do the mock 53-man roster with us. This is a really, like Adam said, this would be a really difficult year to sit down and try to project what the roster is going to look like because there's a lot of talent on this team. And I don't know. It all comes down to what the Vikings think as to whether or not they want an extra corner or an extra wide receiver or extra depth on the defensive lineman as to who's going to make this roster or not. It's going to be a lot of competition in camp this year to watch and look out for.
In the chat, Ying Yaj says that the Vikings extended Sherrills in March, and I am not seeing where this really happened. I know that in 2016 he signed a 2-year extension that kept him through the team through 2017, and that's what they have for him on Spot Rack. So he is a free agent in 2018. This is his final year. As far as I know, they could cut him with absolutely no dead cap. So, yeah, I do believe firmly that everything right now is adding up to this being Marcus Sherrill's last year. If anybody else can step up and show that they're a capable return man, which I think between Mike Hughes and some of the other youngsters on the team, that there are guys that can handle this.
We have a good question here in the chat, too. Let's do this really quick. Does anybody have a bold prediction for the 53-man roster this year? Anything just off the top of your head?
Well, my bold prediction that I made when I wrote my article on the Viking Age has already fallen through, because I had Hercules Mataafa making the 53.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate
I
injury.
really love that guy's passion and play. I hope that when he returns, he is just absolutely ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my bold prediction was Mike Hughes starting week 1.
I like it.
So you got him beating out Trey Waynes? Or do you have him starting in nickel?
Starting in nickel.
Gotcha. Just wanted to clarify that, because most of the time nickels aren't starters.
Oh, but no, I have him in nickel. Trey Waynes. I like Trey Waynes. I'll just keep it short and sweet. Because
if you checked out my piece on the Viking Age, I actually wrote about the next Vikings that might be able to make the Pro Bowl for the first time, and I included Trey Waynes. I said that he's a lot like Antoine Winfield, and that he is that run-stopping corner who's decent in coverage. And I think that there really is a spot for him along with the cornerbacks who excel at what they do. And I think that Trey Waynes is very good at what he does, and he continues to get better at where he's weaker. And I'm really excited to see him again this year.
I mean, he's shown growth. I mean, I don't know what, no disrespect to other Viking fans out there, but I don't know what they see. It's just like all this negativity towards him. It's just like, okay, I said this before, no rookie in any sport just comes in day one and just dominates at their position and just, just crushes everybody. It's growing pains, so you can't criticize every every little step, or misstep or a penalty or, a PR or whatever the case, and I've seen this man grow from when he was a rookie until now, and he's improved. He's made big plays for us.
We got a lot of talk in the chat here. We got Yang Yaj pointing out that Trey Waynes and Antoine Winfield both wear 26, which is really cool. Lee Sattler says that Zimmer said Hughes has picked up the position better than any rookie since he's been here, and I totally believe that. When I was watching the tape on Mike Hughes, I saw a player that I believed the Vikings had a great chance of taking in the first round, because I did not believe they were taking an offensive lineman in the first round. I would have completely understood if they did, but I really thought they were going corner. I thought it was going to be Jaire Alexander. He ended up going to Green Bay.
Yeah.
But hey, they got a quality player. The Green Bay is a good team. They're starting to make some really good choices in the draft and free agency, so they're always going to be a tough team to play. But I really believe the Vikings got a really good player here in Mike Hughes as well. And Scott Schwab is pointing out your statement, saying that he does not think you're being very bold at all.
Well, I think it's bold because we had we had the discussion about Zimmer, how he feels about rookies, and he doesn't necessarily, rushes them. He lets them develop and gives them all the time. So that's why I think it's bold, just for the fact, and what you're just saying, Adam, what you're just saying about Mike Hughes, as far as like picking it up and everything. It's like so far, like Dorian Foley is.
My bold take this year. Vikings bring 4 tight ends on the 53.
Adam, you're countering my bold take, because my bold take was I think CJ Ham is going to make the roster, and I was going to say that maybe that's not too bold of a statement, but I like CJ Ham a lot, and I think that the Vikings still value that fullback position, and I think CJ Ham is versatile and one of those sneaky players that is just like you can kind of use him in a couple different spots.
Yeah,
and I think he'll make the roster.
Oh yeah, I think CJ Ham's going to be right there. The reason why I said 4.
You think they'll keep a fullback and 4 tight ends? I
do, because I really believe. And have you been did you watch the Philadelphia offense the last couple of years? They run multiple tight end sets, and what the Belldozer does on special teams, you can't really discount that either. So I really think that all four of the rookie, you got David Morgan, you got Kyle Rudolph. I just believe that all four of them are going to be able to make the roster and actually play and make impact during games.
That's too many tight ends. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, but that's bold. But
Kirk Cousins likes his big targets. He likes his tight ends.
That's why they used a draft pick on tight end for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
I think you're onto something.
But CJ Ham, I agree with what you said about him. I'm a fan of CJ Ham. I like him and everything like that. But you thought he might be cut? Like, is that like what's going around right now that he might not make the roster?
Well, a lot of people say the fullback position is dead, and it's always more fan friendly to say you want to keep an extra wide receiver over top of a fullback or an extra tight end over top of a fullback. And I think that there's too much value with him. I think that the Vikings valued the position and that, you don't use a fullback, but there's still, you can find a use for a good one in the NFL today. I still think so.
Well, the Vikings have already been moving Kyle Rudolph around. They've been trying him out on the outside a little bit more, working him into different sets. Philly just absolutely loves, or they loved when, DeFilippo was there. They loved using tight ends in conjunction with these wide receivers and confusing formations to throw these cornerbacks off and create mismatches. And that's one reason Minnesota had so much trouble dealing with them. And I actually would not be shocked to see Minnesota only carry 4, maybe 5 wide receivers to go with tight ends. Because let's be honest, Kyle Rudolph is more of a receiver than a tight end when you think of him in that way. Whenever it's a blocking down, you don't really see Kyle Rudolph out there. It's usually David Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, think about it. We got Thielen, Diggs, Treadwell, the guy we picked up from Chicago, right? And then you one more for depth purposes out of that.
Yeah, 4, maybe 5.
Yeah.
There's no reason to take 6 unless there's just someone who really stands out.
Now, see, I wasn't a fan of what they tried to do a couple seasons back with, was it Rodney Adams and Stacey Coley, where they kept them both on the roster at the same time, and that never really worked out well for either of them.
Yeah, that didn't. Not at all.
Scott says that we should keep both kickers, Forbath and Carlson.
Well, Carlson's kickoffs are amazing. He's really good on kickoffs. His extra point accuracy is amazing. I think where Carlson gets a bad knock is when people just look at his stats and don't interpret what they are. I went through this on the show a couple times. I went and discussed how many of these the missed kicks were over 50 yards, how many were blocked because of inept play by the special teams line, I don't think that too much of that's on Carlson. So I do still believe that Carlson's going to win it and Forbath's going to be gone, which sucks because I have a couple Kai Forbath autographs, met him a couple times, seems like a really cool dude. But yeah, I do think that it's going to be Carlson and not Forbath. I don't see them keeping both specialists.
I mean, you don't draft a kicker and then the kicker doesn't make the team. Like that doesn't.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't trade up for a kicker.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just not the way it works these days.
Sorry, Kai. Bye-bye. We'll see you. They're sending me to Vietnam.
I like Kai Forbath.
Yeah, he's decent. He's good. He's good enough. But I think the Vikings are looking for a little better than good enough.
Yep.
He makes me nervous. I'm sorry. That's just me. He made me nervous last year.
Mike Zimmer seems to get pissed off anytime he has to think about special teams. He does not. He does not have to think about the special.
Well, he hates punting and he hates getting kickoffs because he knows the other team probably scored. Now, the special teams aren't a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to do that as least as possible. Let's move forward to another guy who excelled on special teams. Percy Harvin used to tear up returns when he got the chance. But recently he spoke to Sports Illustrated and talked about his playing years, but he's dealing with anxiety. He called his years with the Minnesota Vikings his best years. And I can't argue that one bit. When he was here, he was electrifying. So much physical talent on that guy. Just couldn't really put all the pieces into place at once to put it all together mentally and physically, between the migraines, the anxiety, and everything else that he was dealing with. I really do think this is another case where fans were quick to criticize him, call him weak mentally and all this stuff, when you have to understand that these are actual people dealing with people issues. And yes, Percy Harvin, he was dealing with his anxiety issues, but he's also a professional football player. And those two things don't usually go hand in hand, because being a pro football player is a mighty stressful job.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, with the travel, learning playbooks, all that, schemes, everything. Yeah, obviously that'll take a toll on any and everybody, that was in that position.
And I know you guys are both big Percy Harvin fans, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was.
I blame Leslie Frazier. No, I'm just playing. But no, man, Percy was my dude, man. Plus, I used to kill with him on Madden. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I just keep him in a slot. I'm like, I'm going to pass it to Percy, right? Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead. And then I, make Christian Ponder look like Brett Favre.
Hey, you could burn people on there with Cordero Patterson, too.
Oh, yeah. Man, I used to dominate with. Okay, we're getting off the tangent.
Even B twice, man.
Yes, I did damage with everybody, especially like 2006, the year that we traded Moss and then Troy Williamson in there. Oh my goodness, who's that? I don't know, but he just scored a touchdown. Yeah, he's in purple.
Only in Madden. Only in Madden.
Only yes. Made Tavares Jackson look like Michael Vick too. Remember we talked about that in the
True. Yeah. Absolutely.
No, back to Percy here for a minute. I don't know how much you guys read. Like, I read the full article. I haven't watched the videos on him yet. But I mean, you do kind of feel. I mean, you feel for the guy, like you were saying, Adam. Is that there was a lot of. I don't think he fully understood maybe what medical issues he had and how to deal with them. There were a lot of teams that he played with that certainly did not, whether that be through college and through the NFL. He talks about how he felt that he was essentially on autopilot his entire career. And so you look at all of the amazing plays that he had, and you go, God, here's a guy that, for whatever reason, he was giving it his all, but imagine if he would have been healthy, how good this guy could have been. And you got to remember, Percy Harvin is only 30 years old, so he could realistically still be playing in the NFL at a Pro Bowl level right now.
Well, there are other options too. I mean, if Percy Harvin wants to go play in the XFL, if he can't, he absolutely can. If he wants to go play in the association, he totally could.
Well, I mean, he's playing that flag football league that the NFL's doing.
Yeah.
I think he was on the team that Michael Vick has, right? I don't remember. I'm not really.
I have not watched a single game and haven't paid attention, so.
No,
I refuse to watch that because that's garbage. You know what? The long story short, it is a shame how Percy's career worked out for him.
Yeah, he had the potential to be an absolute star in this league.
Yes.
But I'm glad to see him coming and figuring out everything that's been going on with him, owning up everything that happened in the past. It's a lot to accept to be able to bring that information out, and not really. I guess you're still going to worry about what people are going to say, because you're still going to have everybody saying, "Oh, well, he just sucks," and whatever, and that's fans and that's the media and whatever. They'll twist whatever you put out there. But like Scott Schwab said, he was having an MVP-type season in 2012 when Peterson won the MVP. He was putting on a show out there on a regular basis.
Yes, he was.
I wish him
the best. I wish him the best. He seems like nowadays, like, he has a clear mind and, a better mindset. So, if the man still wants to play, I wish him all the best. And
he doesn't. He says that in the article that he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't? Like
he's much happier just doing. He's went back to college. I forget what he was working on getting for a degree, but he's doing that, and he's just like come to terms with the fact that he's happy in the place that he's at right now, and he does not miss playing football. So I think the chances of him doing anything other than flag football or whatever stuff are really pretty slim and probably not going to happen.
Oh, well, I can respect that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be happy for him for coming to terms with himself. I think that's the important thing here.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
We're all fans of Good Morning Football, and here it's a fun show. And on that show, Peter Schrager named Danielle Hunter as one of his 5 potential breakout players of 2018. And I've got to say, for a player that just got a massive contract and already had a season where he had 10 sacks, I'm not sure what he's looking for in a breakout.
I don't want his name mentioned nationally. No, you do not know who Danielle Hunter is. Stop giving him attention. Stop giving him press, because let him continue to be under the radar. I'm just joking, but I mean, hey, that's for him to get that recognition and that namesake. I like it. I like it a lot.
I think that this is one of those cases where it's a bigger town media person who usually pays attention to the big names on big teams and doesn't recognize that, Danielle Hunter was a starter last year and he was consistently getting pressure on quarterbacks and making good plays. If he went back and watched the tape on him, I think he'd see a player that has already broken out but just hasn't really gotten national attention. And I think the Vikings roster has a lot of those guys. I think that on many teams, Andrew Sendejo would be their star safety.
I'll give you that. I'll agree with
it's just a problem with the Vikings are so loaded everywhere that you can plug in a guy like Ben Gedeon, who didn't even have a year's experience under his belt, got thrown in as a rookie, and still put out a solid performance. And you were never shouting at your TV, "Oh my God, Ben Gedeon, stop screwing up." You never did that.
Right.
And the fact the Vikings have so many of these guys that are out there making plays on a regular basis, not screwing up, doing their jobs, and the number one defense, it's amazing now how many of these players have already just blown people's minds without even making them think about it.
Even we talk about this all the time, even our top players. Imagine if Xavier Rhodes was a Seattle Seahawk, just how much more name recognition he would have in the national media. I think it's cool that Danielle Hunter got on this list for 5 potential breakout players. It's cool that the media is recognizing him, but I really think it has more to do with hey, maybe not so much statistically, but we're paying attention to the Vikings. Danielle Hunter is a guy who got a big contract, and he's one that the national media should be paying more attention to. Is maybe what he was going for when he put him on that list would be my guess anyway.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a player who's going to be getting a lot more highlight reels and be talked about more on a bigger stage. I think that's more of what he's talking about.
Sure.
And I do believe that this year Hunter's going to steal a little bit more of that share from Brian Robinson. And you know what? That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that Hunter is another one of those players that could be a first-year Pro Bowl player this year. And I loved putting together that article because I do believe that Eric Kendrick should have made the Pro Bowl last year. Stephon Diggs is almost a shoo-in to do it if he stays healthy, just because of name recognition based off the miracle alone. I think that he's got a great chance to probably replace Adam Thielen. But there are so many players on this Vikings roster that just I was shocked to find out have not made the Pro Bowl.
I guess that's small market for you, or that's what they consider, all these other sport outlets. We talked about it before. That's the only that's my only answer for that.
Round table, really quick, since we're talking about the Pro Bowl. Kirk Cousins, in or out this year? Does he make the Pro Bowl?
Let's see. Drew Brees is going to make it.
I don't
Aaron
care.
Rodgers is going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Past that, Matt Ryan. So, no, I don't think so.
You say no? What do you think, Dorian?
I'll say yes. If we blow up with, if our offense, the weapons that we have, and Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins like he was last year with Washington, but multiply that by 2 or 3 with the weapons that we have, there's no question. I'll say yes. I'll say yes. Kirk Cousins makes the Pro Bowl.
So who doesn't make it? Matt Ryan?
Yeah. I'll say Matt Ryan. Nope. Bye.
I am going to say he gets voted in, but will not be playing in the Pro Bowl. And who will be his alternate? It will be probably the Saints quarterback. Drew Brees will have to be the alternate for him.
It'll be Arizona's rookie quarterback.
Drew, what's his name?
I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
Sam?
Whoever's behind Sam Bradford.
That's funny, you guys.
Jesus, I can't.
Wait a minute, what's his name? This is not.
Kurt Warner.
John Skelton? I don't know.
Oh, my
fucking
God.
John Skelton. Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute, I'm looking. Hold on. No, this is going to bother me.
It's probably already said it in the chat, but I haven't even looked.
Somebody
all we've got is people talking about how Kay Adams from Good Morning Football is adorable, and yeah, she is.
She is. She's no Katie Nolan. I got to fill in for Kyle Smith.
Smith is a fan.
Josh Rosen.
There you go.
You said, I don't know where Drew came from.
Because that's the agent. Isn't that Adrian, or no?
What, Drew Rosenhaus?
I have. Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus. Who the hell's that?
That's an agent.
Oh my God. Yeah, Josh Rosen. Yeah.
Not bad though. I see where you made that connection.
Mike Glennon is still Arizona.
Yeah, but it's not. No, not Mike Glennon. No.
Over under on Mike Glennon making the Pro Bowl this year.
Can you go further than under?
Yeah.
like 6 feet under? Like, yeah.
Our final quick hit of the night and week, I guess, is that Vikings wide receiver Adam Thielen and long snapper Kevin McDermott are expecting to extend their family, both announced on the 4th of July that they have kids on the way.
I believe it is the second for Adam Thielen and his wife, and the first for Kevin McDermott. Correct?
Yep, Adam and Caitlin's second, and Kevin, and I believe it's Lauren's first.
I think so. Yep.
Which is pretty cool. I was actually writing that up on the Viking Age just as the show was going live. So that's going to be an article that's going to be coming out a little later tonight. Or maybe in the morning. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
You're going to play Fortnite after we get off. Don't lie.
Probably PUBG.
Okay. That's close.
He's going to play
But either way, it's going to be some games.
2 TVs, 2 controllers.
He's going to play both. Adam, I watched Takeover, by the way. So I'm up to date now. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just a side note, but yeah, it was awesome.
Without a doubt. That's all we have for the quick hits for this week. Let's dive right into the main topic now. The Alliance of American Football, which is something that we've been talking about for a while since Jared Allen is one of the founders of the league, one of the big investors. We're going to have 2 former Minnesota Vikings staff members coaching teams in the league, which is pretty fun. Brad Childers is going to be heading up Atlanta, while Mike Singletary is going to lead up Memphis. And what I think is really weird is so far none of the teams, I don't believe that I haven't seen this anyway, that none of the teams have mascots of any kind.
Yeah, they haven't named the teams yet. Like, they just found the cities. But we don't like Atlanta what? Memphis what?
Yeah, right now they're listed as like Alliance Atlanta or Alliance Memphis. And you can't do that. You can't market it that way.
No,
you got to give them something fun.
Like no gimmicks needed. Like, this is football, straight football.
No flips, just fists, huh?
Yeah, I'm serious.
What kind of slogan is that?
That's the revival, man. Wrestling.
Right.
Is it? I haven't been keeping up with it for a while now.
No, but it really sounds like, yeah, it's just like no gimmicks. Like, it's just like we're just going back to how football used to be. This is just football. Like, yeah.
One thing that's been kind of fun and completely off topic from this is if you follow XFL on your Facebook, they are constantly asking for fan input as to how to run their league, and it is really cool.
I really love that. I respect that too, even if they don't take a single suggestion from the fans and actually implement it. I think it's cool though that they're at least like, hey, we want to know what you guys think, because that's the whole idea, is to be like, what do you guys actually want this league to be?
Right.
I don't know. I think it's cool. I always comment and throw in my 2 cents on all of the posts that I see when they come up.
And I'll absolutely admit, I loved XFL the first time around. I watched it all the time. I thought it was fun, entertaining football. Yeah, I didn't take it as seriously as I did the NFL, but that's okay. That's kind of the point of it.
I know. There were some... I mean, they did stupid things, but whatever. Watch the documentary on ESPN if you want to know about some of the stupid things that they did. I'm personally excited to have this Alliance of American Football, which starts in... I found it here. Let me read it on the notes.
Yeah, it starts after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, of 2019. So that's coming up. And then we got the XFL in, 2020?
2020.
Is one. Yeah, 2020 is when they're
and we got this flag football stuff going on. So if you're a big fan of football, there is a lot of alternatives out there for you. You've got Arena League. You've got the CFL. You've got lingerie football. I don't even know. Is that still around?
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
It is still around?
I believe so.
Because those ladies smash each other up. Goodness gracious.
Yes, they do.
And they ain't wearing a lot of padding.
Hey, Kyle, does Minnesota have a team in the Alliance?
The Alliance of American Football, it's all the teams are Southern.
Oh.
There is not a Northern Hemisphere team among the entire league, which I kind of get it. It's closer to the winter time. You want it down south where it's going to be warmer. I'm assuming most of the games are going to be outdoors.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
I wondered if they're doing that for travel reasons, to cut down on travel expense.
I thought it was for the weather. That was my first impression, but they're still pretty stretched out as far as how they are around the south. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of travel, but it's also a really small league. I think I saw it's only each team it's a round robin, I think, or something like that.
Oh,
I don't know.
Because I took a look at the schedule and there aren't very many games scheduled. And one thing I thought was cool is it is going to be aired on a major network. I think it's CBS. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. But they also have their own app where you can stream the games for free, which is really cool.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Real nice. Okay. I'm still learning, so I assumed that it was going to be the same as the XFL of having, obviously teams from different, and I just thought that, just want to know if Minnesota was going to be shown any love and have a franchise of their own. Like, I'm hoping that in the XFL, I'm hoping that Minnesota will have a team.
I hope so too.
So
no luck this time around. Maybe if the league expands, they'll start heading out north a little bit. But for now, we got teams that are being led up by Brad Childress and Mike Singletary. And, well, I'm not a big fan of either of those guys, especially not when they were with Minnesota. It's going to be interesting to see them do what they can do.
I mean, you got to give this league credit. They've got a lot of former NFL talent that's attached to them in, league office positions, from Troy Polamalu to, I think, Michael Vick.
Yeah.
There is a coordinator for the Atlanta franchise. Bill Polian is one of the founders. I think Mike Martz is a coach for one of the other teams.
Yep.
I don't remember. I looked through the whole list. They're trying to pack it with talented coaches and players who have lots of NFL experience and owners and other stuff as well too. So I don't know.
They're doing a good job legitimizing it all. I love what they're doing.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see. Personally, I don't think we can't have the NFL and the Alliance of Football and the XFL and Arena League. Like, not all of these are going to stick around. I'll be curious to see which one kind of gets a foothold between this Alliance Football thing and the XFL. It's got to be one or the other, right?
I mean, based on what the XFL is doing, I'm thinking that they will actually last more than a season, like they did. They tried.
They're
before.
Higher profile.
Yeah, so I believe that they're making the right moves. Just what they've been doing so far, I think that they will have a good chance of lasting longer. But I mean, I like football, so hey, if everybody could eat, hey, more power to everybody.
I think that if they work together and stagger their leagues at different times, I think it can work. Like, I would love to see, you've got the NFL go to the Super Bowl ends, and then, the Alliance picks up, and then the Alliance runs, and then you got XFL. It'd be kind of cool to have football all year long, even though it's different leagues, because that way it would feel different enough. You'd still have the option to watch some football. And, yeah, right now we do have the option to watch Arena League and CFL, and I don't watch a lot of that. And I admit I probably should, because there's a lot of good players and a lot of great plays going on out there, but I just don't.
I don't want to. I mean, I guess I do want to knock it. Arena League is weird. I mean, it's interesting, but it's weird. That's not like actual. I mean, it's football, but it's like a weird form of football on a short field. And I don't know. That's just tougher for me to get into.
It's like basketball in a sense because of the high scores,
Yeah.
Final scores could be like 100 to like 76 or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's only what, like a 50-yard field?
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that those goalposts should be at the end of the end zone, not the front.
Right.
That's just messed up. Bad news. In the chat, Lingerie Football League's getting some love.
Then the LFL, that is not, yes.
This is probably the most Lingerie Football League's been mentioned in a while. On any podcast.
Oh man, man! Ooh, them girls, they look good and they play good. They give 110%. There's no I in the word team, and
That's a lingerie league.
That's all I have for this week. Kind of a shorter show, but those aren't so bad once in a while. You guys got anything else you want to add?
No, kind of a quiet week. I hope everyone had a happy 4th of July, safe 4th of July weekend. We got the normal weekend coming up, so safe travels for anyone if you're going out and doing anything at all.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
You don't have anything you want to plug, Dorian?
I have nothing. Do you like wrestling? I like wrestling, so watch wrestling. But WWE sucks. I'm still on that tangent. The only good thing about WWE is NXT, what I mentioned earlier to Mr. Carlson.
I don't know. WWE right now, there's some stuff going on I really like. I like what they're doing with The Miz right now. I love what what they're doing with Elias. I don't know why, but I absolutely love watching Elias.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, yes, Miz is great. Elias is too. It's more so with me of certain storylines, of what, as far as like what's written, is just like, what the heck is going on? Perfect example, Bayley and Sasha Banks. They've been going on and on. I mean, this is long drawn out, and you still don't even know, okay, who am I supposed to who am I supposed to boo? Who am I supposed to cheer? Because
I want to cheer Kevin Owens, and I know he's a bad guy. I shouldn't be.
But that's different because Kevin Owens is just entertaining. So, right. Overall, he's just entertaining. So yeah, of course. Especially stuff from last week. I mean, it's certain things, Adam, that I like, but it's just overall, it's just like, with like I said, just what they're doing with certain wrestlers is just like, come on.
How about Minnesota Vikings super fan Curtis Axel? You like what they're doing with him? The B team.
I like it. It's cool, but it's just still a gimmick. Curtis Axel should have been, projected a long time ago, in terms of, being taken serious, not a comedy act.
Hey, his dad, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, did those skits with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes,
and so much fun. Of course, it's cool to see Curtis Axel kind of following in those same steps. Being a big fan, I was so cool when he got to sound the horn before a Vikings game. I thought that he said that was one of the best moments of his life, which was amazing.
I mean, you could tell, you could see it in his face. He was really just elated, like basically like he was like in heaven, and that's cool. He's a true fan, a true Minnesota fan, a Vikings fan.
I also love that the Vikings had Cesaro and Sheamus do it one day because that was really cool as well.
The bar.
I don't know what it is, but sounding that horn, they always seem to find the right person to do it. I mean, every once in a while, it'll be someone I don't know, like a major recording artist, maybe like an R&B act that I don't know very well, and I'll be like, oh, cool. Because I don't follow today's R&B or hip hop. I'm not hip.
I don't blame you. The majority of stuff I listen to is from, our day, back in our day, Adam,
What's wrong with music. Prince? Why can't everybody just listen to Prince?
Exactly.
We could all stop fighting, just everybody enjoy Prince and young Michael Jackson, and we're all good.
Thank you. Indeed.
Kyle West does want to tell you about his shop where you can buy some art.
I do.
Yeah, you want to plug your stuff.
Yes,
you want to sell some more Hulk Hogan shower curtains and squirrel pillows.
Yes,
I would love to. I sold actually a greeting card the other day. One of my favorite prints sold, and someone ordered it on a greeting card. I thought that was really cool. So the link is down in the description below. If you are on YouTube, you can check my stuff out. It is phantasmdigital.com is the name of my website. And there is all kinds of Vikings prints and other outdoor stuff and odd things. I have all kinds of stuff. I have a wide variety of things for you to sort through. I think I've got close to 1,000 photos and other pieces up for you to sort through.
And there's Vikings related stuff too as well.
Yeah,
pop culture stuff.
Something you like. Yep.
Yes. And buy the shirt.
Some cool horror stuff. Yeah, Purple People podcast shirt you can buy on there too. Mm-hmm. Lots of fun. And I did get confirmation that the Viking Age shirts are coming to the fan-sided store. So right now they aren't available, but they will be soon. So I'll definitely let you guys know when they're available because I know that I have been wanting one so long.
I want one. That would be cool.
I want one too. Can it be are you going to get it for free, Adam? Are you going to get it for free?
No. You got to support, man. Got to show your support.
I'm talking about for you, man. I'm talking about you.
I'm going to show my support too. I want to throw some money behind it.
Okay. I was just asking. Yeah. I don't have a problem.
I'd love to get one for free. Don't get me wrong, but I got no problem paying. Absolutely none.
Okay. Neither do I. I'll show my support.
Jason Tavade is a longtime wrestling watcher, and he thinks NXT is the best thing they have. He loved the 205 Live No DQ match, and he saw highlights on Facebook, but he does not watch 205 Live.
I don't watch 205 Live either.
I should because there's a lot of talented guys there, but I don't watch it.
No. I watched the Cruiserweight Classic, and then pretty much I think I watched a couple episodes of 205 Live, and it just seems like everybody was just the same, and everybody wasn't doing what basically brought them to the dance, brought them to the table, and that's just the thing I just don't get with WWE as a whole. I've never gotten that, even as a kid growing up. It's just okay. God bless his soul, Vader. Perfect example. Vader did his thing in Japan, did his thing in WCW. And it's like, okay, I want to sign Vader. Okay, but once you sign him, you bring him in, and then you totally go against everything that made this man, popular.
So you're saying like taking Nakamura and making him to a guy who just punches guys in the nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Adam. And I mean, and it's funny, but it's also just a shame. Like, I just don't get it. Like, okay, Adam, okay, obviously you're a writer. Okay, I have a company, I want to hire you. Okay, Adam, you know, saying you come in, and then the next day I'm like, okay, well, Mr. Carlson, I need you to change this, that, the other. You don't need to do this, and okay, I know you like doing this, but we want you to do that. It's just like you're gonna be like, okay, what's the point of me even being here?
Like when they fired A-Train, brought him back, and made him 10 side.
Right.
Like no one would notice.
It's like, okay, I can understand, okay, with that. Understand the name change, you know, okay, they gave the origin or whatever. Okay, he was in Japan and pretty much he got engulfed with the culture and everything like that. But, okay, but just still, like, everybody was expecting A-Train. But that's just the thing I just don't get with WWE. And that's why it's like with certain cats that are out there now, with like your Kenny Omegas, your Cody, you know what I'm saying, your Codys, Young Bucks, is like, okay, they're doing their thing. They're killing it on the independent scene. They're doing that. Okay, if they were to come back, it's not a chance in hell, no pun intended, Vince McMahon, there's not a chance in hell that they will be able to continue to do what they're doing right now in WWE.
So let's spin this back to the Vikings perspective, and let's talk about Babatunde Ayagbusi.
Yeah.
And whether or not we believe he can succeed.
I'm rooting for him, man. The first time I saw him was at the Greatest Royal Rumble. That's the first time I saw him like in any action, and I mean, just based on that, he was solid, looked cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you probably need needs some more work, so that's why he's at the performance center, and I have high hopes for him, man. I hope he can do his thing. I hope he can flourish, man.
What he's been doing is he's been at house shows managing one of the guys from 205 Live. So maybe he'll make his debut as a manager on 205 Live, throw around some of the little guys, and then make his way through to NXT and then up to the main roster. I like the slow progression for him, bringing him in slowly. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think that even the moment when he stared down with Braun Strowman was great.
Yes.
Because I actually believed that, these two big guys are going to give each other a good pounding.
And if I'm not mistaken, isn't Babs like taller than Braun Strowman?
Yeah. Jason Tavade wanted me to mention that it was Leo Rush who he was managing, and yes, it was.
Oh, Leo Rush.
Before we head out, I do want to thank you guys who have been checking out the Viking Age. We've been doing a good job over there of putting up articles that we think you guys would be interested in, a lot of list articles that we think are fun, a lot of opinion articles that maybe, you might not agree with, but maybe you do. And Adam Patrick's got a great series over there, Over Under, where he's already talked about Danielle Hunter having 10 or less sacks, or whether you'd go over under on Kirk Cousins throwing 30 touchdowns. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a series that we've really enjoyed and like watching the interaction with. So thank you so much for reading. We are off to a great start on the Viking Age, and if you guys can just keep clicking, keep reading and enjoying, we'll keep doing our part and putting out what we believe to be quality articles, informative, fun, and entertaining pieces, just covering the Vikings and doing our best to do the team justice. I guess that's all we have for this week. I do want to thank you guys for tuning in and checking out everything that's been going on. And I believe we lost Mr. West along the way, and we may not even be live right now, so who knows?
No, we did, but I think he's back.
I don't know what happened.
Do you want to sign us out? Do you want to say the tagline this week, Mr. West?
Sure. Stay classy, Minnesota, and people in general.